Hello, everyone. Throughout human history, the moon has captured our imagination, inspiring countless myths, stories, and scientific pursuits. But did we really go to the moon? It's a question some people still debate. In today's video, we'll break down everything about the Apollo moon missions, from the rocket's launch to the crew's landing on the moon, their return to Earth, and the scientific evidence left behind. Let's get started.
Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon.
In 1969, humanity took its first steps on the moon. But how can we truly prove it happened? The space race. The 1950s and 60s were defined by a fierce space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Soviets took the lead early, launching Sputnik in 1957 and sending Yuri Gagarin into space in 1961. And so, this is some of the, in response, US President John F. Kennedy announced in 1961 the ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. NASA and the Apollo program. This goal led to NASA's Apollo program, which became one of the most significant projects in human history. Apollo 11 was the mission that would make this goal a reality, but it was preceded by numerous test flights and preparations. The program faced setbacks, including the tragic Apollo 1 fire in 1967 that claimed the lives of 3 astronauts. This tragedy spurred major improvements in safety protocols. Apollo 11, the first manned lunar landing. The launch. On July 16, 1969, the Saturn V rocket lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Standing 110 meters tall, it was the most powerful rocket ever built at the time. The crew included Neil Armstrong, commander, Buzz Aldrin, lunar module pilot, and Michael Collins, command module pilot. While Armstrong and Aldrin would land on the moon, Collins remained in lunar orbit aboard the command module. Journey to the moon. It took approximately 3 days to reach the moon. As Apollo 11 traveled the 384,000 kilometers to its destination, the crew conducted technical checks and prepared for the lunar landing. Lunar landing. On July 20, 1969, the lunar module Eagle successfully touched down on the moon's surface. Neil Armstrong became the first human to set foot on the moon, declaring, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Buzz Aldrin joined him shortly after, and together they spent 21 hours and 36 minutes on the lunar surface. Work on the lunar surface. Scientific equipment and experimente. The astronauts installed seismometers, reflective panels, and various scientific instruments on the moon. These devices were used to measure lunar gravity, surface vibrations, and solar radiation. So, Lunar Laser Ranging Retroreflector. This device allowed scientists to send laser beams from Earth to the moon and measure the exact distance between the two. It's still operational today. Soil samples. The crew collected 21.5 kilograms of lunar rock and soil samples. These samples revealed that the moon has a volcanic history and provided clues about its formation and evolution. And these samples were taken to be an experiential tool when practicing at least 3 base-level mountaineering ranges every year. Iconic photos. The astronauts captured stunning images of the moon and Earth. These photos not only documented the mission, but also offered humanity its first glimpse of Earth from space. Departure from the moon and return to Earth. Leaving the moon. After completing their work, Armstrong and Aldrin used the ascent stage of the lunar module to return to lunar orbit, where they rejoined Michael Collins. In the command module, this process required precise maneuvers, coordinated with NASA's mission control on Earth. Returning to Earth, on July 24, 1969, Apollo 11 safely splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. The crew was immediately placed in quarantine as a precaution against any unknown lunar microbes. How do we know they really went to the moon? Scientific evidence. So, the lunar rock samples brought back by Apollo missions are unlike anything found on Earth. Their unique composition confirms their extraterrestrial origin. Reflective panels installed on the moon still allow us to measure the Earth-Moon distance with incredible precision. Soviet acknowledgement. Even during the Cold War, the Soviet Union acknowledged the success of the Apollo missions. If it had been fake, they would have exposed it to gain an advantage in the space race. Modern telescopes and satellites. Today, high-powered telescopes and lunar orbiters can capture images of the Apollo landing sites, showing the equipment left behind and even the astronauts' footprints. Legacy and future of lunar exploration. The Apollo missions proved that humanity could achieve the seemingly impossible. They paved the way for future lunar exploration and the potential for building permanent bases on the moon. With new missions like NASA's Artemis program, we are closer than ever to returning to the moon and establishing a sustainable human presence there. Conclusion. The Apollo missions were one of humanity's greatest achievements, showcasing our curiosity, ingenuity, and determination. The evidence supporting the moon landings is overwhelming, from lunar samples to modern imaging technology. What do you think about the future of lunar exploration? Could we establish colonies on the moon? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating content. See you in the next video.